Hi, I'm David from Levika Photography, and today we're checking out the Sony 50mm OSS 1.8 E-mount lens. And this is the most requested user review that I've done, and thanks to one of our viewers, he lent me this lens for a week, so I got to actually dive into it, check it out really well. So let's check this out. This is CFL. And, you know, it's okay. This is at F1.8. Now, if we crank this down to F8-ish, still looks pretty solid. Okay, so that's Cfl Light. It's got just a little bit, not too bad, decent. All right, now let's go over to LED here. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. This is overwhelming at f1.8. It shouldn't be quite that bad. That is big. Okay, so let's crank this thing down, all the way down to f8. And right here, you can see it's got just a little bit, you know, it's pretty heavy. You can see even though the blades are supposed to be slightly rounded, you can actually see the shape of the iris blades. So, you know, that's a little strong, but still not too bad. I mean, I'd say it's decent. All right, let's check out the speed of autofocus. It seems to be a little slow, but you know, for video, that's not such a bad thing. The sigmas are almost too fast for video, so you know, this actually works quite nicely. I just don't know how well it would be for sports, because I think it might be kind of lagging in that area. Hardly any barrel distortion at all. Okay, so let's take a look at the image quality really quick. This is at f1.8. And if we go in and look, it's not overly sharp, but it's not bad. This lens is actually decent, wide open. I've tried a couple in the past, and the ones I've tried were really soft wide open. And this one just seems to be a lot better wide open. So as you can see, we've got some depth of field going on here, not a problem. The corners do fall off just a little bit. As we can see in the foreground, the sides, they get softer. But at f1.8, that's really not too bad. Let's look at this upper corner really quick, just to kind of give you an idea. You see the CAs coming through here in the highlight areas, but this is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I'll leave you with that on f1.8. f2.8, things definitely get a lot better. The resolution starts to actually show itself a little bit. And right now we're at 2700 lines of resolution. And just so you guys know, I have a resolution chart that I shoot, and 2600 lines is a decent image that you can actually work with. So anything above 2600 is usually pretty good. Now, if I remember right, the Sigma 60mm wide open actually achieves closer to 2900, a little sharper. But this is actually very good. And I really like shooting this leafy area simply because leaves cause all kinds of chromatic aberrations and flaring and all kinds of issues. So anyway, very good at f2.8. Now we are at f4. Things start to tighten up a little bit. Let's bounce ahead. This should be f5.6, I believe. Yes. Okay, so if we go in, this is the sweet spot of the E-mount lens line. And I pretty much say this in every review because f5.6 is where you're going to get the highest resolving power on every lens in the middle. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean the corners, just means the middle is where it's going to be the sharpest. And this is right at 3,000 lines of resolution in the middle. And the Sigma Art, I think, is closer to 3,200 at this point. But the corners actually look very good. Can't complain about those at all. And our depth of field is picking up nicely. Everything is very clean. I mean, this lens looks great at f5.6. Really, really good. Okay, so this is f8, still very good. Now let's bounce ahead to f11. f11 is where it starts to fall off again. And, you know, this shoots really well all the way up to this point. f11 we start dropping down to 2,800 lines of resolution. So just a little bit of fall off, but very clean corners. Everything is really acceptable. At f16, this is where it starts to get soft. So I wouldn't use this lens past f16, but f16 itself, still very usable. Very clean. Okay, so right here, this should be f22. And f22 is, obviously you can see it just went flat on us. So I would stop at f16. And typically on APS-C size sensors, you don't want to go past f16 anyway. That's simply the cutoff point. But f16 on an APS-C size sensor is like f22 on a full frame, as far as the depth of field goes. Okay, so let's talk about vignetting. Now, as I said earlier, very little barrel distortion, not much there. And so this is at f1.8. This is the kind of vignetting that we're looking at. It's not overwhelming. It's actually very decent. Not nearly as bad as the 35mm f1.8, which vignettes like mad at 1.8. Okay, and then at f5.6, obviously it goes away. So, you know, like I said, a very clean lens. I was actually nicely surprised by this. And it has 7 blades, and the blades are all curved, just like all Sony lenses, and has a decent bokeh too.
So what did I think about the Sony OSS 50mm 1.8? Yeah, it wasn't bad. I actually liked it. It had a slower autofocus than I was hoping for. And I already knew it was going to be slow. I've heard about this being slow, so you know, I wasn't expecting it to be any different. This particular copy was sharper than the few that I've seen in the past. So, you know, based on my decision, originally when I bought the Sigma 60mm art lens, I still prefer this. It focuses faster, it's sharper wide open, but the 50mm 1.8 is a perfectly viable option. It's perfectly sharp from f4 through f11, and very clean image, no distortion. It does have some flaring problems, so the hood is needed. But for the price range, you know, you really can't beat it. It's going to be way better than any of the lower priced zooms, and way better than the kit lens. So, you know, with that being said, you're perfectly fine with it. So I'm going to leave you guys with a video of my pets that I did with this lens, because that's what we're all here for. We just love to shoot little animals. Cute little fuzzy things doing cute things with cameras, because that's what we do, I guess. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Subscribe to my channel if you like information like this. Otherwise, you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.